ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, שהכל נהיה בדברו. One of the difficult and enigmatic chapters in the Torah relates the death of the two older sons of Aaron. Aaron was the high priest, Kohen Gadol, and his two sons were also Kohanim, were also priests. And the day of the inauguration of the tabernacle, the Mishkan, they died. Why did they die? We really don't know. The Torah says, Behakrivam esh zara. They brought a strange fire to the sacrifice. What does that mean? Maybe they were supposed to wait for fire to descend from heaven to consume the sacrifice. Our rabbis don't know exactly what happened. Some of them say, you know what? Probably they were slightly drunk when they went to officiate. Why were they drunk? Well, they wanted to be elated in a different state, to be somehow inspired more by what they were about to do. Others say because they legislated, gave an opinion in the presence of their parents, of Aaron and Moshe. They said what the law is, and one should respect his elders, and they didn't. Another opinion is, for instance, you know what happened really? They were so much involved with themselves, they thought so much of themselves that they didn't get married because they didn't think there is any woman worthy to be their wife. Well, our rabbis don't know really what happened, but it was a great tragedy on the day of the inauguration. And the Torah says that when the father got wind, heard of what happened, his reaction was vayidom. He remained silent. What was he going to do? Complain to God. He had faith in God. But yet, at the same time, he was a father. And his two children had died. Very difficult to justify for a father what had happened. I think it's about the worst thing that can happen to a parent when a child dies. It is contra natura. It's against nature. Natural is for a father to die, then the son dies. But when the son dies before the father, there's so much injustice that the father thinks, maybe he starts thinking to himself, what have I done wrong that God punished me that way? That I have to live with the notion that my two sons have died. It is a very difficult situation for the entire family when something like that happens. What happens afterwards? Some people have their lives completely changed. It's before and after that episode, and everything in the future will look already in a different way. What happened with Aaron? He didn't know what to do. So his brother told him, you go ahead and start officiating. You know, you cannot remain in your pain. You know, when something like that happens, you become paralyzed. You don't know what to do. What did Moses tell Aaron? You have to go ahead and do the sacrifice. You have to continue. You've suffered a great tragedy, but that is not the end of the world. You have to start again. You have to start with new energy. Of course, you know what happened, but don't become frozen. Don't become paralyzed. Don't become inactive because of what happened. And I think that in our own lives, many a time, something happens. Many Venezuelans had to leave Venezuela and go to a new country. Many of them become paralyzed, don't know what to do in adversity. How do you react? And while I do not want to compare the death of a son to the fact that your money isn't worth anything, that you may go to jail, it's different. But each and every event is very traumatic for some people. There was a great tragedy here in Miami. It was just a year ago when the Champlain Tower just came down. And in a few minutes, many lives were extinguished. And the survivors, relatives of those that died, to this day, many of them can't explain what happened. Not only can they explain, they have become frozen. They have become paralyzed in their own activity because they live with that memory. And maybe what our tradition is trying to tell us, don't forget the tragedy, but don't become paralyzed. You have to continue living. You have to continue doing your thing. You have to make sure that this is a better world. Continue to contribute. Don't delve on the tragedy. Don't delve on the negative. There are many positive things in this world to do as well. So this is my message to you. Each and every one of us has episodes that certainly we consider unjust. Things were not going our way the way they should. But we can never permit those events to rule our lives, to become paralyzed and inactive. We have to get up again, start again, and look for tomorrow, because the sun is going to come out again tomorrow and shine its light upon all of us.